Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Win, Lose or Draw, our Premier League prediction show with me and Robbie. We'll get into what the scores are after last week's, but this week, I think, Robbie, is going to be the week of somebody slipping up. You go to Newcastle, Liverpool go to Crystal Palace, and Manchester United go to Brentford. It's also the weekend where you probably triple captain Haaland because they're playing Burnley at home. I mean, Man City might, but Man City might be back. I always used to think this. They always seem to play relegation teams at home. But how are you feeling about this weekend? Because it could, you could win at Newcastle, Liverpool could lose at Palace. It could go the other way. It could be a very big weekend in the Premier League title race, I suppose.
Yeah, no, listen, it is a tricky weekend. It is a weekend where, possible big boys could trip up. And it's mad that this early in the season, even if you get, say, a draw, it's almost like you slipped up, you know what I mean? It is really, really weird because we're not even out of September yet. But some big games for the big boys. Coming up against teams that I guess you're expected to beat, but they're very, very good. So it's going to be an interesting weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking what you said there. If Liverpool were to do what they do and find a way to beat Palace, and you were to maybe even draw against Newcastle, it would be 7-point gap, which is, I know it's only game week 6, but it becomes psychologically very, very damaging. Let's start off with Crystal Palace against Liverpool then. Crystal Palace have been unbeaten in about, I can't remember whether it's 17 or 15
games. I think it was. Yeah,
really impressive. I remember last season saying that they had the best away record defensively, very well organised. Glasner gets a lot of credit, and they won the FA Cup. They've lost a couple of players, and obviously Ezzy's gone to you, but they're still a very, very good side. Having said that, Liverpool have been finding ways to win. How do you feel this is going to go? 3:00 on Saturday, probably because of Europe next week. I think this is one of the games at the weekend. Is this a game as an Arsenal contender where you see Liverpool finding a way, or do you genuinely think Palace might, with that unbeaten record at Selhurst Park, give Liverpool some problems?
Yeah, well, one unbeaten record, I guess, is going to have to go, but. Listen, you got to make Liverpool the favourites. I think they won there last year as well, but it's going to be a tough game. But then remember that they beat Liverpool in the Community Shield, and they're a very good side. They possess threats, they defend well, they're very well organised. And right now, Selhurst Park, is a very difficult place to go to. And if they get on top early with that crowd there, I've been there many a time. It's a very, very, very tough place. And then, with Liverpool, Ekitike very stupidly got himself. That's the most ridiculous sending off I've seen this and last season from a player's perspective, taking his shirt off. There was some Liverpool fans last week giving me a bit of grief and saying, what's up with Martinelli celebrating like that for a draw? I said it was a last-minute draw in a game that we were facing defeat. But
can't say nothing now.
Yeah, what are you going to say now? Ekitike celebrating a Carabao Cup win over Southampton, by taking his shirt off. It was absolutely ridiculous. But he's out of that game now, and we don't know if Isak is fully fit to go the whole 90 minutes. He's sort of been doing sort of half games so far. So could that be a bit of a blow for them? Because Ekitike has been the one that's really been on form. It's a tight game. But I do, unfortunately, as an Arsenal fan, have to say that I think Liverpool will come out on top. I think they'll edge it.
Yeah, I'm going to go. So Robbie's going to go with a win for Liverpool. I'm going to go with a draw, which in itself I still think is big for the title. But my big concern is that Liverpool are more than capable of producing what they've done so well this season. And I've read something this week about how Liverpool really should be 8th because of XG or something like that. And I'm like, what do you mean really should be 8th? Really, they're top. That's we live in the real world. They're top because they've done what they've done. And at some point they're going to start playing well. But I think for the Premier League, and not just for Arsenal and the chasing pack, it would be great if Liverpool did drop points, because at some point they are going to start playing really well. So I'm going to go with the draw, but I've got to say, I don't disagree with what you say.
The thing is, Mark, though, it is still very early in the season. You know what I mean? Like when I was looking over the fixtures the other day, I'm like, You know, now that the Carabao Cup games are coming, now that's another layer. Then in January, you get the FA Cup games coming. You've got loads of Champions League games. And, of course, this grueling Premier League. And Liverpool have slipped up away, in my opinion, by not bringing in another centre-back. And, you know, unfortunately, they had that injury to the youngster who came in during the week. He's done his ACL. That's a season out now.
Oh, is that the young centre-back?
Yeah, they brought in all these strikers and attacking players, but they neglected that area. Funny enough, it's Mark Gay who, you know, they wanted to get. They're going to be coming up. Now, what if there was an injury to Van Dijk or Konate, and Konate in particular can pick up injuries? It could be a different complexion because they haven't started the season defending well. So that's just why I say things can turn very quickly in this league. So yeah, it's interesting. It's still very interesting. Still a long way to go, but psychologically, like you said, it'd be massive for them if they were to get the win.
So Robbie's going with a Liverpool away win. I'm going to go with a draw. Let's just stick to the big two for a moment, and we're going to go to Newcastle, which is a 4:30 game on Sunday, and it's Robbie's Arsenal there. I'll go first on this one. I think it's really tough. I think it's really tough to predict. I think Arsenal are very hard to beat. They didn't lose against Man City, and it was a Szoboszlai goal that did it. So But then Newcastle at Newcastle, I just don't think you can bet against them. So for me, I'm going to back the fact that Arsenal are hard to beat, and I'm going to go with the fact that I'm very tempted to go with an Arsenal win. But Newcastle's a very difficult place to go. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go with an Arsenal win. Sod it. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I was going to go with a draw.
Yeah, the draw is kind of the obvious one to go to be honest. Like you said, both teams are very well organised, very difficult to beat. You know, Newcastle, that powerhouse midfield. But Newcastle have been struggling to score goals. They got Gordon back this weekend after his suspension, but they've been struggling to score goals. Arsenal haven't been scoring a lot of goals on the road. They have in home games, but not on the road. But I don't know. I just fancy Arsenal this weekend. We haven't had a lot of joy there over the last couple of seasons. You know, they beat us twice there last year in the Carabao Cup and in the league. But I've got a sneaky feeling for us this weekend. I think a tight 1-0 win is what I'm going for Arsenal. I've got a feeling for Gyökeres this weekend. I know what it is, but yeah, so I'm going for a 1-0 to Arsenal. But like you said, it'd be a tough game. Newcastle have actually only won one game this season, which is a bit strange. But
it'd be a bad start for them, wouldn't it? If you ended up winning, it'd be a bad start for them. And look, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I agree with you on Gyökeres. I think people judge him in the games like Man United at Old Trafford and Man City, where there's no space. Newcastle will open up. They will attack. Yeah. And I'm not saying Newcastle can't get a result in this game, but if they didn't, it would be it'd be big problems. Let's just recap on last week. I know we never do it right at the start because we're going to do Brentford, Man United next and run through the other games. But going into last week, it was 15-14 to Robbie in our win, lose or draw game. Close. Let us know how you're doing in yours. We know. We were speaking on DR Sports on Monday that he's had a good week. But let's run through what happened. So 15-14 at the start of the week. Liverpool, Everton, we both went Liverpool win and we were right on that. So 16-15. Brighton against Spurs. Robbie got that. He said draw. I said Spurs. And obviously at 2-0 to Brighton, I thought I might be safe. But yeah, he got that. So 17-15. We both said a draw between Burnley and Forrest, which I thought was a good shout. So we both got that. 18-16. West Ham against... Sorry, let's have a look at this. West Ham against Palace. What was the score in that? You remember?
Palace won. 2-1, wasn't it?
That's it. You got that. 19-16. It just said you got the point, but I can't remember what the result was. Wolves and Leeds, and we neither of us got that. We both went with Wolves, and Leeds had a good result, so still 19-16. United, Chelsea, I got that. You said draw, so 19-17. Fulham and Brentford, we both got that, so 20-18. Bournemouth against Newcastle, we both went Bournemouth. Obviously, it was a draw, so 2018. And then Sunderland against Villa. Again, a good shout by you. You said a draw, even though Sunderland were down to 10 men.
Yep.
I said Villa, who should have bloody won. So that's another point for you. So it's a 3-point gap, 21-18. And then Arsenal City, we both went Arsenal, but it was obviously a draw. So 21-18, which I'm not happy about because Brighton were 2-0 up and shouldn't have drew. And Sunderland were 10 men and shouldn't have drew. But the points are the point. So I'll give credit there. 3-point gap.
I wasn't happy about the Brighton one either because I wanted Brighton to win, to be fair. But any team that's playing Tottenham. But yeah, no, good week, man. Good week for me. Good week.
Just shows you. Just shows you. I was like, oh, I'm going to be okay here when Sunderland had a man sent off because I've got an away win and Villa, who did get a win last night, actually, to be fair, against Ballon.
Yeah, but even that, I was watching that game, Mark. They're not playing well. They're not playing well. If that team had a bit more about them, you know, I don't think they would have won that game. I think it would have been more of a not a loss, but more of a draw. They weren't great.
Club. Let's go to the first game of the weekend. It's 12:30. It's in London. It's at Brentford. It's Brentford against Manchester United. Brentford have been okay at home, Robbie. Man United looking for the first time to win 2 games in a row under Ruben Amorim. Where and how do you see this one go?
Well, I mean, I can tell you one thing after watching I watched Brentford's game last weekend against Fulham. Right, I watched the whole game. I've watched a couple of their games. The most direct team you are going to come up against in the Premier League. Long throws galore, ball straight into the box, right? I mean,
it worries me with the under.
United are going to be under it, right? Because, you know, that's what their tactics are. But United should have enough, you know, to beat Brentford. You know, as I said, they're very physical, very, you know, but they did get that draw last time out at home against Chelsea. And to me, you know, they deserved it as well. They played well. So I think it's going to be a tough game for Man United. It's one of those games that if United don't get off to a good start, they're going to have problems. Right? So I'm going to go with a United win, surely. But surely they have to win this game. Surely the quality, yes. And Buemo going back as well, by the way. So, but the quality of some of their players has to shine through on one occasion. Surely this has to be it. I'm going for a United win.
Yeah, I've gone for United win. I did it on the preview on United stand last night. Similar things. I think we've got to start well, and I think we will. And as much as the hype around Man United is, oh, Amorim out and this, that, and the other, I think when you look at it, like Man United finished 15th, Arsenal 2nd, Man City 3rd, Chelsea 4th. They were all better than us. They all spent better than us. We lose to we lose to Arsenal, we lose to Man City, and people are Amorim out. And I do think sometimes it's only 5 games in. These are the sort of games where if you drop points and lose, you start to talk about manager out. And I think that's why it's such an important game. And I think, yeah, if United were to lose this, I think you've got to start looking at, you know, real big issues. But I don't think we will. I think we played well against Arsenal. Ultimately, we lost. Played well against Man City for 20 minutes. Ultimately, we lost. If we can score first, I think we've got the quality players. And I think, you know, you reference Mbeumo. He's looking better and better every week. Cunha's back now. Yeah, I'm going to go with the win because the alternative is, yeah, we're right back in it. So, yeah, I agree. I'll go for a win on that. 3 o'clock then, Chelsea, Brighton. I'll go first on this one. Yeah, for me, you never know what you're going to get with Brighton. So I'm going to go with a Chelsea win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a Chelsea. I mean, it's like you said, there's a lot of tricky games this weekend because Brighton are one of them teams that you also wouldn't be surprised if they went there and got a result or at least a draw because they've got a lot of quality. But as I said last week, they can't defend, man. Like, look at the goal they conceded. You know, they were 2-0 up against Tottenham. Yeah, and I just don't think their defense is not solid enough. If they had a solid defense, they could get European football for sure. So I'm going to go with a Chelsea win.
I said I went with that. But I do agree. I wouldn't be surprised if on Monday we're talking about a draw at Stamford Bridge. You just never know what you're going to get with Brighton.
Yeah.
Palace and Liverpool, we've done it. Yeah, well, this is another one. Leeds have had a very good start to the season. Fantastic win at Wolves. They play Bournemouth, who are, I think, 3rd. You're first on this one, Robbie. It's a tough one to call this.
Very difficult to call because Bournemouth are a very, very good side. Leeds are at home and they're very strong at home. Great support. I'm going to sit on the fence for this one and go with a draw.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I genuinely would challenge anybody watching to come out with a definitive, oh, this is definitely going to be that, because I just don't know. Something makes me feel like Bournemouth might win it. I feel like Bournemouth are a little bit better away from home. So I'm going to go with the Bournemouth win. Robbie's going to go with a draw on that one. But fantastic start to the season for Leeds and Sunderland. We'll talk about Sunderland in a minute. Man City, Burnley, very, very quickly. I think the big question is, should we triple captain Erling Haaland? I mean, are we being disrespectful to Burnley? I mean, I presume we're both going with the Man City win anyway, Robbie.
Yeah, City win. Come on. I mean, and Haaland's the one that's carrying them at the moment. I mean, look how I mean, they were more defensive than I've seen Burnley play the way they played against us. They literally parked the bus. But with Haaland, they possess that guy with a real quality, the finisher. He's on form at the moment. City win.
Could be a good weekend for them, because you'd expect 3 points, and then if Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea and Bournemouth drop points, they're right back up it. But I don't see City as a title contender. I mean, I know they're a work in progress, but I don't see it.
Nor do I. Not what I saw last week, but if you still, they are notoriously slow starters, so you never know. But I don't think they're as good as they've been over the last few years with De Bruyne's and Bernardo Silva firing and players like that.
What do you think about the Ballon d'Or, actually? Because I don't think City had a player in the top 10, no, they didn't. They didn't have a player in the top 10. I don't think they had a player in the top. I'm just having a look here: Pedri, Lewandowski, Donnarumma. Well, Donnarumma technically is a Man City player, but it wasn't because of him. 15th, Gyökeres 16th, Neves, Vinicius Junior, Elise 19, McTominay. So, what do you think about Ballon d'Or? Did you agree that? Dembele,
yeah, I did. I mean, Dembele deserved to win that. I was fearful that they might not give it to him, right? Because when I saw the women's one and Russo didn't get it, they gave it to that Bon Mati, right? Who came runners-up in the Champions League final to Russo's Arsenal and Cadamantri's Arsenal, and then came runners-up in the European Cup to the Lionesses, who Russo's played. She scored loads of goals in both of those, and they gave it to her. I was like, here we go, stitch up coming. They're going to give Lamine Yamal the award for the men's. But fortunately, Dembele did get it. They gave Lamar the young player. Probably, if he hadn't have got that, they'd have probably tried to find a way to give him that. But Dembele deserved to get that by far.
Well, we've seen them before where they've not been given to the person who deserves it, which is why sometimes when it comes to awards, it's like, well, we're in the world where we know how votes can go, aren't we? You know, so it's but yeah, the right player won it. It should be based on the best player in the year, which is why you're right about Russo and Dembele. And we're not saying Dembele is better than Yamal or anything like that, but based on your year, you should get it. Which is why I think Mo Salah, to be honest, doesn't ever get the respect. I'm not saying he should have won it, but I'm not so sure about 5th place when you look at winning the league and the amount of goals and assists he gets. But we could do with a Premier League player getting up there, really. It might be Harry Kane this year. That'll sting you, won't it?
Cole Palmer was in the top 10, but I don't know how he finished so high. Like he was above even come above Harry Kane. It's a bit.
Well, I think looking at Arsenal, somebody like a Declan Rice, had a really good season, semi-finalist, second in the league, but
he's in the
they
top
go up.
30.
Right, let's wrap these up. So we've got 5:30, another 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. This must be a more regular thing this season. I know they're televising the Sunday games.
More games, isn't it?
5:30, Forrest, Sunderland. You're first on this because I went first on Man City.
Do you know what? This is another tough one because Sunderland been going really, really well, and Forrest haven't been drawing a lot of games. Drew again during the week. No, not a bad draw away at Betis, but
really tough. Sunderland. We've got them next week at Old Trafford, so they must have two away games. I can't see them losing both.
Yeah,
I hope they win this.
So Forest have to win a game now. I'm going to go with a Forest win.
Yeah, Robbie's going with the Forest
win. They've got to win, isn't it? Surely.
And just looking at his first win, it's difficult, isn't it? Because if it was Nuno in charge, I'd completely agree.
Big Ange, you don't know what you're going to get. And they played already this week, so
it is a tough place to go. They did play Wednesday night against Betis. I'm going to go with a draw. Although I think I'm playing dangerously here, but
Mm.
still a long way to go.
You
Even if
need
it
some
goes
points.
5-point gap, even if it's
You
a
need
5
some
point gap,
points.
need the points. So I'm going to go with a draw. I need Sunderland to get something there, so they come to Old Trafford feeling, well, at least we got something there.
Oh, you beat them.
Tottenham, Wolves. I'm just going to go
Oh,
Spurs on that.
come on, man.
Yeah,
Wolves
they're
at the
doing
moment.
well. There could be a bloody good weekend for Spurs. You know,
Be
like
a very good
they're not
weekend
in a
for
bad
Spurs.
position in the league. They could be above you.
Yeah, but this is just great. I mean, these are the things what I say though with people, right? When I say it's early in the season, because you can look on it that way, but then you can also look at it and say Arsenal going to have to play Wolves at home as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, we ain't played none of those sort of teams yet. Listen, this is going to be for me. I'd be absolutely if Wolves was to go, they even get a draw. That'd be the shock of the weekend.
Yeah,
Spurs will win that.
Yeah. Sunday, 2:00, Villa against Fulham is you on that one. Obviously, Villa played Thursday night. Fulham had a week off.
Very hard to call, man, because Villa. Honestly, I weren't impressed by them. You can see a lot of players off form, especially like players like Ollie Watkins and that. And they move the ball so slowly. It's just not.
There's something inherently wrong there, isn't there? And I don't know whether it's. I don't know what it is.
I think this is a draw. I'm going for a draw on this one. Fulham played well last week. They're fresher. Yeah. You know what? Or should I go for a Fulham win? Should I go for that? I'm gonna go for a draw. I'll go for a draw because Villa are at home, but they ain't impressing me at all at the moment. And Fulham played well last week against Brentford, and they got some good operators in Iwobi and Harry Wilson and players like that. So that Muniz up front, they're gonna give Villa a lot of problems, I think.
I've put win ? There for next week, so that if Fulham win, we can all say Robbie played safe. But he can play safe. He's got the points. You know, why shouldn't he? I feel I've got to probably not go with the draw, even though I would go with the draw because I am playing catch up a little bit. So I'm going to I'm going to go with the Villa win, which is costing me points. It's the third time this year I've gone for a Villa win, and they haven't won. They haven't won. So
I wasn't impressed by them, Mark. Man, I'm telling you, I've watched them a couple of times this season. Man, not been impressed.
Do you think Emery's in danger?
Not in danger, but it's something ain't right there. And even like you'd normally be looking at a game and saying, if you go to Villa Park, the atmosphere and that place looked really flat last night. They know the team ain't playing good. This is a perfect time for Fulham, for me to be playing them. Even though Villa got a win, I have to remember they won the game last night, 1-0. But I think it's a good time to play Villa. If you go to Villa, that's a hard place to go to Villa Park. But something ain't quite right at the moment. They're not firing.
The value is in the draw, 100%. And that leaves us, obviously, Newcastle, Arsenal that we've done. There is Monday Night Football this weekend. This Monday, it's Everton against Wolves. That's first for me. Everton against West Ham. It may as well be.
They played twice.
It may as well be Wolves because it's going to be the same outcome anyway. In my opinion, I thought Everton looked very good against Liverpool, but just didn't have enough quality. They'll have enough quality. Unless Beto has a bad day at home. Everton against West Ham. This might be Potter's last. I think Potter's getting sacked at some point anyway. So I can't see West Ham. It'd be a shock if West Ham got a draw to me, Robbie. So I'm going to go Everton win.
I cannot believe that Potter's still there. I thought they were going to get rid of him last week. The fans don't want him. They're disgruntled at the moment. I mean, they did pull out that little surprise win at Forrest when they won 3-0.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But Everton are better than Forrest at the moment. And I think new stadium still there. Monday night, that's got to be an Everton win. I'll be shocked.
Good win for them as well. The mid-table.
Yeah. Everton, Everton, time for them to impose themselves a bit more sometimes in some of these games as well, because they have got a lot of good players.
Who do you think West Ham will go for next? Let us know in the comments. I think their fans might not be happy with it, but the best shout is probably someone like Sean Dyche, which is basically just noise, isn't it? But which they don't want. But I just think where you are now.
Fans, I know those fans well, mate. They don't want Sean Dyche.
Thing is, if you go for another ball playing coach, I don't think you've got the players for it. And look at where you are in the league. And the worst thing is Burnley, Sunderland, Leeds they don't look like the last 2 years where it's like you can be really shit like Man United and Spurs last year and you'll be fine. I don't think you will be fine this year. I think
Yeah.
Wolves are in trouble. I think West Ham are in trouble.
There's been rumours of Slaven Bilic. I'm like, why would they want to bring him back? I mean, I don't know what's going on at West Ham, but yeah, I mean, Marino would have been a great shout for them, but he's gone Benfica now. But yeah, they got a lot of problems, West Ham, at the moment.
Yeah. Absolute legend for coming on. Obviously, you've got a big journey up to Newcastle, and you'll be up in the gods. We were talking about that before. The away fans there, Robbie. Go on, tell us what it's like. It's not fair, is it really? But that's why Newcastle are so good at home.
It's a big listen. I don't know how they get away with it. Newcastle. The only actually now Sunderland are in there. Sunderland also put their fans right up in the top tier. Somebody please tell me why they are allowed to get away with this. And I like the Newcastle fans, and I like Newcastle as a club, but it's not fair. It's a definite advantage. You know, it's not a slight advantage, but it's definite advantage when fans are put way, way, way above, you know. And every other club, the Premier League made a rule where every other club has to have the fans where they're lower tier or they're visible and things, you know. How is it? Every other club. Only Newcastle and now Sunderland are allowed to get away with this rule. What is it? Why they're allowed to? And it is high up, and you're far away. So I don't know. Yeah, and that's why I want to go there and beat them this weekend.
We're both saying it'll happen. We're both saying it'll happen. It's true though, like, because when Arsenal play, you know that corner where the Man City fans were last week, or the United fans, you know where they are, and same at Old Trafford, you know where they are. But yeah,
same at Old Trafford, same at
City,
same at Spurs, same at Bournemouth. All right, there'd be teams who might put you in the corner, but you're lower tier, you're near the action, and that. Then you go there. And you're up about 15 flights of stairs right to the very top tier. You're out of it. You can, no matter how high, much you sing, you're so far away. You're completely removed from the atmosphere. It's a bit like when you go to some of those games in Europe. The only thing they haven't got is the netting. Maybe they should put that up. Just like, I mean, I just don't know how they get away with it. It's not fair. But
making me think I might go for a Newcastle win now.
But it still doesn't mean that you can't go there and get a win. It just gives them a slight advantage. So Arsenal got to go there and get a win this weekend. About time. We haven't won there for a while.
I think they need to win. Absolute pleasure having you on, Robbie. Hope you have a good weekend. Actually, would be good for Arsenal to win and Liverpool drop points, to be fair, for the title. We'll see what happens. We're back on DR Sports on Monday morning, unpacking the whole weekend. I'll speak to you then, mate.
See you then.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Get your comments in below. Lots to discuss. And we'll see you later tonight. Bayern Munich, Werder Bremen, Bundesliga match tonight.
I'll be tuned into that. I'm coming in for that one.
Speak to you later.
Look for me in the comments.
Only if you do super chats. Okay.